Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. A man was arrested in Johnson Valley after allegedly driving his car into his girlfriend. On Saturday at around 12:05 a.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies responded to a call near the intersection of Old Woman Springs Road and Pony Road in Johnson Valley. Deputies say they received a report of an assault with a deadly weapon. Deputies say the suspect, Darren Green, a 61-year-old resident of Johnson Valley, was arguing with his girlfriend. Deputies say Green reversed his vehicle into his girlfriend, hitting and injuring her. They say Green demanded that she got into the vehicle and drove her a short distance to Old Woman Springs Road and Pony Road, where she exited the vehicle. Deputies arrived and said Green had fled the location. The victim was treated for her injuries at the scene by medical personnel. Deputies located Green at his home on Green Road in Johnson Valley at around 3:45 a.m. He was taken into custody without incident. Darren Green was arrested on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon. He was booked into the Morongo Basin Jail and has since been released on bail. An arrest was made in Morongo Valley last week by the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Gang and Narcotics Division as part of Operation Consequences. Between March 23rd and March 29th, the Sheriff's Department served a number of search warrants related to gang members and convicted felons throughout San Bernardino County. One of those warrants was served in Morongo Valley. A representative of the Sheriff's Department said that more specific information about arrests made as part of Operation Consequences could not be shared due to possible connections to gangs, narcotics, and future investigations. In that last week, Operation Consequences led to 11 felony arrests and seized 18 firearms, including 2 unserialized ghost guns. The Morongo Valley Community Services District Board of Directors will hold a special meeting tonight at Covington Park's Mesquite Room. With only one item in new business on the agenda, the board will discuss a waiver for the Morongo Valley Sports League that requires participants to assume all risks associated with the activity, including injury, illness, or death, and releases the agency from liability even in cases of negligence. The meeting begins at 6 p.m. at the Covington Park Community Center, is open to the public. The next regular Morongo Valley CSD meeting will happen on April 15th. Spring brings blooms, active wildlife, and more visitors to the high desert than almost any other season. Spring and summer campers have to plan months in advance to get campsites in the national park, and with no slowdown in sight for the high desert as an outdoor destination, camping can remain out of reach for many visitors. In late 2024, a state assembly bill was passed that makes it easier for landowners to create private campgrounds on their land. Online news editor Robert Hayden joins us with a look at the bill and what it could mean for the high desert.
Up until 2023, camping on private property was an option for many people coming out here, using apps like HipCamp that helped connect landowners with people seeking a more curated camping experience.
My name is Miyoko Rifkin. I'm a local homesteader for the last 5 years, grew up in Hesperia, raised my kids out in LA, and came out to the desert. When we came out here 5 years ago, we were still allowed to rent out our land to people that wanted to come out and camp. We also had like a 67 Airstream that we would rent out. Hip camp was very prevalent, and it was during the pandemic, so people really wanted an excuse to come out to the desert and just recreate. A couple years into it, we all got shut down by the county.
The ban was on alternative structures, like Miyoko mentioned. Assembly Bill 518 aims to change that for some counties in California. The bill was signed into law in October of last year, and it creates a set of regulations for what the bill calls low-impact camping areas. Here's how it works. If you own a minimum of 2 acres of land in a non-urban or suburban zoned area, you can create 1 campsite per acre with a maximum of 9 campsites no matter how big your property is.
Like, you can't pack a bunch of people in there. That's not what this bill is about.
I asked 3rd District Representative Dawn Rao about the bill. She said that the county has received some outreach on the Assembly bill, but the only positive outreach has been from HipCamp, while feedback from residents is that, quote, they do not want commercial activities in residential areas. She posed questions such as what restrooms would campers use, where would campers wash their hands or get water from, and how would boundaries be set on camping areas.
Yeah, I think these are pretty basic fundamentals that almost every HipCamp host I know takes care of. Most hip camp people live on their property, so they don't want people trashing their land either. And they absolutely don't want to upset their neighbors as well.
Private campsite owners don't have to use HipCamp to book their sites, but in the last 10 years, it's become the go-to app for boutique and private campground rentals.
I'm Michal Rosenauer. I'm the Global Head of Government and Community Relations for HipCamp.
McCall says that other counties in California have opted into the Assembly bill, and the process allows individual counties to make changes to the law during that adoption.
It's pretty wide open because different communities have different standards. So I've seen, for instance, San Benito County follow exactly this legislation. They just basically copied and pasted and approved this definition of low-impact camping. But other communities like Mendocino, Nevada, Humboldt have really narrowed those definitions and what's allowed based on what makes sense for their county. But it really does remove a huge barrier for landowners who before had to get a state and local permit, and now they can just go to their local county and say, hey, can we work together on this, please? And a lot of counties are taking them up on that.
The Assembly bill would have to go before the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors before adoption, and there are currently no plans for the bill to be on any of those agendas. You can find a longer version of this story with more from Miyoko, HipCamp, and Don Rao, along with more information on the bill itself. That's all at this story at Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
The Joshua Tree Gem and Mineral Show returns to the Morongo Basin beginning today. The Gem and Mineral Show is a twice-yearly event that brings vendors of crystals and boulders to our community. You'll find rocks, gems, geodes, minerals, crystals, spheres, and handcrafted jewelry alongside local vendors and food trucks. On Saturday, there will be a gold painting demonstration from our local First Class Miners Club. The show is free to enter and kicks off today. It runs through Sunday. The event is happening now at the Joshua Tree Lake RV and Campground located at 2601 Sunfair Road in Joshua Tree. And finally, the town of Yucca Valley's Parks and Recreation Department has announced its spring and summer program schedule for adults. As part of their adult program schedule, the town hopes to offer residents a variety of opportunities to stay active, improve wellness, and engage with the community. Programs for adults include bar fusion Pilates, adult basketball drop-in sessions, pickleball, the Slowpoke Hiking Club, dance classes with Dance Mojave, and adult ballet. The town's biannual activity guide will be delivered throughout the community this week and provide a detailed overview of all upcoming classes, programs, and events for adults and children. You can also access the guide online at yucca-valley.org. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z1077 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.